Okay, we're live. Hey folks, this is Rotorstorm331, back to doing some Final Fight 2 for the Feed the Kids Marathon, part of a small mini block. I'll be doing this game along with Mercs and Brawl Brothers, all in one go-ahead. But anyway, I want to give a quick shout out to RGLtv for allowing me to make accommodations to allow me to stream on for this morning instead of Saturday, since work's got made things a little bit difficult. But enough about work, let's get started. So before we do get started, normally I do speedrun easy, but I am going to switch to normal. And of course, normal pretty much has the same things as easy, but just has more enemies, and enemies have more health. But anyway, we're going to be picking Haggar because Haggar is going to be our main guy for the job because of his awesome power. And also we're doing this under RTA timings, so the moment I say go, we're going to be hitting that timer and we'll start going. Anyway, here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. So anyway, Final Fight 2 is very different because this is the only game in the series that takes place outside Metro City. One thing I have noticed about the Wii U version is that, unlike the other versions of Final Fight 2, the Wii U version has like different setups for the enemies instead of being in their normal places. So unfortunately, you won't get them to be in the same spot all the time. Unfortunately, the enemies can be very unpredictable at times too. Sometimes you can get very good patterns, and then other times they just like mess you up big time. The Johnnies and Atlases are going to be the biggest problems here, because they have probably the most highest damage in the entire game with their bear hugs and their palm strikes. The Andoris are probably the next biggest threat out of those guys. So anyway, we're coming up to the end of area 1-1. Yeah, this trick I learned from Noble Boy 77, where you can stop your chain, and if you get close to your enemy and then hold an opposite direction and hit attack, you can still do your chain throw as long as you're still within the proximity range. So anyway, Final Fight 2 is pretty much my first speedrun project, pretty much. And I've played this quite a bit for some years now. In fact, I pretty much found just about everything for this game, but I think there's still more to discover. But I think a person that's more expert in beat 'em ups would probably find more stuff than I would. But anyway, we're coming up to area 2. We're keeping that crane attack because that gets rid of the jack that we would normally fight. In this game, when you enemies forgive me, crates and barrels are treated as enemies. So in some cases, you can literally despawn some of these enemies and hasten up the least amount of time of having to deal with all of them. Alright, not bad. Oh, Cowardly is still hiding behind that corner. Yeah, aside from the Alices and Johnnies and Andoris, Elix are pretty annoying enemies. You'll come to discover that as we progress. Yeah, these Atlases love to get right in front of your face all the time. And this is the Leons and Roberts. These guys are palette swaps for the female enemies in the Japanese version. Of course, this was during the time Nintendo was censoring just about anything that was probably not appropriate for American markets or outside Japan, pretty much. So normally, if we were playing easy, we would just move on after defeating that Elliot, but we have to deal with that Atlas. And we also now have to deal with enemy reinforcements now that we have to play this on normal mode. So in other words, we gotta treat 1-1 a little bit differently. So for right now, I'm going to focus mostly on getting rid of the enemies. That way we can focus all of our energies on fighting one. I miscalculated on the damage, but at least we're in good position to move forward to round 2. So we're done with round 1. Alright, we're going on to France. From here on out, most of the Magier's bases are in Europe, so we have to chase down all the Magier members, and eventually, hopefully, one of them will have Maki's family in it. Ugh, that stinks. Sometimes when you try to get crafty, the enemies get crafty too. Good. I think we can get rid of that Mick. So yeah, all the enemies in normal mode have a little bit more higher vitality than they do in easy mode. So I am going to do the best I can to get through that pretty quickly. Let's set these guys up. We are going to try to group the enemies together if we can, but... Oh, nice try, Endori. That's not going to work. Yeah, the Elliots and Eliases love to gang up on you. Basically, they'll always put themselves behind your back, and mostly just wait until you're preoccupied with all the enemies to get a quick strike on you. Yeah, that's not going to take down that Johnny, unfortunately, but... If we're lucky, we should get a food item right here. Now, sometimes we might not always get the food item we want. Yeah, we're not going to have any of that. Ooh, good setup, too. Nice. Okay, let's go. I am going to try to speak every now and then, but I'm not very good when it comes to talking, so... Oh, come on! I thought I took out that Elijah. Alright. So anyway, we'll take out the Elliot. That makes it easier. Now, normally that has a weapon, but sometimes on rare occasions you might get a guy doll that gives you a 1-up, pretty much. We do have to watch out with the Elix. When they get their electrodes charged up, they probably deal more damage than they are not charged. At least I think that is. I am going to try to set up a despawn coming up. If we can get it, yes. Well, let's move. And voila. So, one thing I have learned is that with certain objects, you can literally despawn enemies. If you're fast enough, that is. And we got a Jack coming up. Ooh, that combination worked. Come on, Elliot. Yeah, Haggar's grapple strikes are pretty powerful. Those headbutts deal a considerable amount of damage. Okay, so coming up we have to break open that crate because our health is pretty low. Now if our health was pretty decent, we would probably just keep that crate intact and force a despawn, but our health was pretty low. So one thing to keep in mind about the acrobats is that they love to hit you, do their leap attacks when they, when your character's currently in their current location. So like if I'm standing in one place, they would probably try to hit me with that leap attack, but as long as you memorize that, that's good. So we're coming up to Freddy. He's basically Endori 2.0, but the only difference between him and those guys is that he can do a rising knee. You can also play chicken against Freddy if you're brave enough. But yeah, I don't try to go for full infinites with Haggar with him anymore, namely due to the fact that, unfortunately, he can go for a rising knee, and he would probably punish me anytime that if I screw up on infinites. But anyway, we had a pretty decent Freddy fight. I just really wish I got more grapple strikes on him. That would have done more damage. But anyway, we're coming up to our first bonus round, the car break. Haggar has it more easier than Carlos Omaki, and that's because his special hits both sides of the car. Now, sometimes this car does have some pretty weird amount of hits, or at least on the Wii U and Wii VC versions, but basically this is probably the fastest way Haggar gets that car broken of all of them. Nice try, Robert. Wow, I can't believe he was sneaky there. Yeah, at higher difficulties, the enemies get pretty nasty. We do want to get rid of the landmines, though, because that helps decrease the lag. We don't have to worry about here, though. Meant to do a chain throw, and that didn't work. Okay. Yeah, every now and then I lose control of my infinites. It's not very easy to do with Haggar, especially since he has like only one hit to work with. And sometimes the enemies can be not very cooperative when you want to be fast. Keep to your side, Robert. Alright, not bad, not bad. Okay, so we're moving on to the next part of 3-1 here. I do have to hold up because we are coming up against some Roberts and Leons, and due to their unpredictability, they might try to leap at me, so we want to be moving up when that happens. Okay, none of them did. That's good. That drop kick takes out all of them, except for that last Leon. Man, that Grandpa Endori is charging today. Of course, in the first game, Grandpa Endori was a boss, actually. Here, he's just a normal enemy. Do want to try to defeat the enemies here. Now, we do have some leeway time before that Endori comes out, but he already came out. So even though I didn't break that barrel, the third enemy decided to break it anyway. Alright, we're going to keep that barrel attack because we're going to set up a despawn on the next screen. Ooh. Oh, I got rid of both of them. Nice. Alright, so that takes care of all those enemies. So we're coming up to the last part. So we gotta deal with Grandpa and Dory. There's also a bull and an Elec. But we also gotta deal with Elias and Atlas when they come out. So one good thing about playing as Haggar is that if you trap the Endories out of bounds when there's a wall, they can't attack you. So as long as you do that, you can basically safely hit an Endori without worrying about getting hit. Alright, I'm gonna try to despawn those enemies if I can. Looks like one of them got eliminated. Nice try, Elliot. Alright, so coming up we're fighting Bracken, and unfortunately he's a pretty nasty troll, pretty much, because this guy loves to do jump kicks when he recovers, and depending on the difficulty, his minions that he brings out also depends on the difficulty. Now, if you can get him right in this spot, you can basically just do this and basically just like hit him in safe range, but that's not going to work all the time. So basically in hard mode, the Mix and Scots that normally would appear, they get replaced with Alice's and Johnny's. And on hard difficulty, you basically fight Leon's and a Joe. So basically, if you can get Bracken within the range of that firebomb flames, you can basically injure him even further with that if you're playing on expert difficulty. Okay, so London is not the most long stage of the game, but it is very unforgiving. It's definitely where you have to deal with all of the more nastier Mad Gear members than the lesser ones. Yeah, I don't want to be dealing with those Atlases too long. So basically, the spinning pile driver does 2 points extra damage than the final hit of the headbutts or the suplex or the extra joy. So basically, we want to use that extra 10 points to accumulate as much damage as we can get. Yeah, on higher difficulties, the Endories become really very annoying enemies to do evidence because they get more larger amounts of life meter. So anyway, we're going up to the top of the train for round 4. I noticed he didn't try to leap at me. So yeah, that's a big change in normal mode. That's because the Robert comes out of there. Okay, I've had enough with you, Elec. Alright. So basically, if you use your extra joys or chain throws, you can finish enemies off real quick. So it also pays to help memorize the amount of damage the enemies do take. So there's going to be 3 waves of enemies coming out to throw firebombs at us. So the third one's going to be coming out after this group throws theirs. Now, technically I would have been on the upper plane, but I was unfortunately not very fast enough. But anyway, we're going to be fighting Philippe. He's pretty much the only boss in the entire game that doesn't get a defense increase on higher difficulties. Darn it, I meant to hit my special, and it did not want to do it. Yeah, Philippe is pretty nasty when he decides to slide over the place. And obviously my buttons are having a field day, obviously. First death of the game. Well, it's very hard to get a 1cc without dying, unfortunately. But hey, that's the breaks. But anyway, we finally finished round 4, so we're officially done with that, and we're going into our final bonus stage, which I consider to be the worst one out of all the trilogy of the Final Fight series. So personally, I think all the barrels do have a global timer as to when their flames erupt, so it's very hard to predict as to when you can start striking them. But I am going to try to get a perfect on all of them. Woo! Got a perfect on that. And 5 extra seconds to get some extra points. So anyway, we're coming up to the pre-ultimate stage Italy for round 5. And things get pretty nasty here. Especially when you're playing on higher difficulties. So basically, we're just fighting these two enemies, but the enemies are going to start changing once we get into this one. And the Helix will start getting pretty aggressive too. So yeah, you do not want to be on the same plane as those guys. So when you ever fight the Helix, try to fight them like below level. So we're going to try to set up a despawn with that Atlas. We'll break open that crate and force these guys to come out. Yeah, for some reason when I hit mobile enemies, it causes a lot of hit lag. Yeah, this game is pretty notorious for having a pretty, very poor frame storage unit. It's kind of similar to how Streets of Rage 2 does in there, when you try to put in inputs. We'll try to corner these guys on the wall. Going for meaty combos right here. So I'm not going to do a whole infinite on these Endoris. Forget that. Alright, we're going to be moving on to the boat interior. We're going to pick up this hidden invincibility item because we just don't know if these guys are going to leap at us. Yeah, I wasn't sure if my chain hit would have beaten them. Alright, so we use the normal chain to take out all 3 of the enemies right there. Whoa. Now, normally that does get rid of all 3 of them and we fight the Helix, but not this time. Ah, they tricked me. Let's corner these guys up. Well, not very fast, but hey, at least we got through most of round 5 before that point. Alright, so we're going up to the elevator stage, and this one's going to be a lot more difficult to do than it was on easy. Not to mention the enemies have more health. Yeah, you can also do that. As long as your character's above one plane above the Elliots and Eliases on the bottom or top planes, they can't move anywhere from that position. Okay, so this is the only boss returning from Final Fight 1, and that's Roleno. So basically, this was intended to be another port of Final Fight 1 until Capcom ordered them to make an official sequel. So Roleno was kept. So basically we're going to keep Roleno trapped to the walls so that he can't do his usual shenanigans. I know we're losing energy and all that, but it's a little bit more safer than it actually appears. So anyway, we finally got him down to this final life bar. We're going to get that 2 extra damage while we're at it with the pile driver. Alright, that was a pretty good Roleno fight. So after we get through all the stages in Europe, we go to Japan for our final encounter with the head honcho of Maggear and try to rescue Maki's family. So basically Asia is your start and end point pretty much in this game. Wow, I didn't even try to get close to him and I still got bear hugged. No way! Man, that is probably the worst instance of getting bear hugged like multiple times. I kid you not. That has never happened in all my times I've ran this game. So we're gonna get rid of all these enemies because we are dealing with Roberts and Leons coming up. I'm not going to do infinite, so I'm going to have him walk right into those landmines. And we got ourselves in good position. Alright, so we're coming up to 6-2, and this is probably the worst area. This is where we fight a good chunk of the Maggear here. This and 6-3 are probably the worst to deal with. Well, that's fine. We were about nearly out of energy. No thanks to those bear hugs. We got that Endori coming up. Yeah, I'm making sure to move my character out of range because if he charges like he did right there, I don't want to be hit by those electrodes. Okay, so we're coming up to this next part. You can't despawn any of these enemies, but that just creates a new one. So we're going to try to take out this Alice pretty quickly. Alright, I am going to try to save that barbecue before picking that up. Man, sometimes these enemies in this game react more quicker than I do. Okay, I've had enough of you, Dory Jr. Go away. That was a pretty bad eye of the storm there. I call that area that because of that Dory and all those minions that come right after that. So we're gonna try to keep these guys in the wall. You can also use this trick as a means to keep the Elliots from going behind you too. Okay. Sometimes when you go for infinites, you can probably get stuck from trying to turn, so I wouldn't worry about it. Just go for the actual chain finish if that happens. Alright, down they go. Alright, not bad, not bad. Alright, so we finally got past 6-2. At this point, I really don't care about lives because we do have like a ton of them. But this area is pretty annoying because I call this first area the Blocker's Hallway. And we're going to be dealing with Atlases coming right up, and as well as Johnnies. That's fine. I'm already out of energy as it was. So there's only a few instances where you can attack the blockers, and that's either when they you can get them in a good area for a grapple strike, or if they try to attack you, like they just did right there. You do not want to be trying to go up to them and grab them. Like what? I was very lucky because sometimes you can grab them from a diagonal approach, but not all the time. Nice try, Elick. Yeah, the Eliks are pretty easy to beat up, pretty much. They're still not very easy enemies to deal with, though. Yeah, I doubt I'll get my 36 time for today, but that's fine. All this running is done for charity, and I'm glad to be taking part in it. Wow, that Atlas survived. Congratulations, you're the MVP of that group. Alright, on to the final area. So thankfully most of the mag gear were dealt with in 6.2 and 6.3. Here and from here on out, all the enemies are going to be not as much. Alright, there's going to be one final one. Nice try, Leon. we're going to do this infinite on Endori Jr. We're keeping that barrel intact because we're saving that for a despawn. And that's to get rid of that Johnny that would have been here. We would have to deal with 3 blockers if that was the case. Oh, that Elix was pretty bold. Yeah, I want that Elix gone. At least the good news is we won't have to deal with any more of the Elix. Ow. I thought I would have grabbed him, but he grabbed me instead. Oh well. Now here comes Endori. Alright, that takes care of that Atlas. Yeah, I don't have time for you, Atlas. Alright, we're going on to Route 2. So basically, Route 2 is probably the easiest boss, but you still do not want to underestimate him at all. Now, we do not want him at the edges of the screen because he'll just do a large leap, and we don't want that. So, the only strat I found for Haggar that works consistently is these chain throws. I'm hoping one day a more faster way could be discovered. For some reason, I can't do the infinite well on Route 2. Sometimes it's kind of like night and day. Sometimes I'll actually get an infinite going on, and then there's just times when I just can't not get an infinite locked onto him. Yeah, sometimes Route 2 decides to either get aggressive or become passive. But one thing you do not want to be doing is pretty much attack him when he recovers. Alright, time coming up. Alright, time 37:22. Whew! Sorry if my commentary is not very good, but I do what I can. Alright, so that's Final Fight 2 on normal mode. It is definitely not exactly as good as it is on easy mode, because if I was playing on easy mode, that would probably be around 32 minutes or so, around that range, but I'll gladly take that 37:22. Anyway, that concludes the first part of my 3 games that I'll be doing this morning. So I'm going to hand it over to the folks at RGLtv for an intermission while I go ahead and switch games and everything. So hang tight. I will be right back. I'll see you all in a bit.